Perfect, thank you. So welcome everyone to the session today on what do the most productive leaders do differently. My name's Rob Miles. For the people who don't know me, might have seen me on videos and the emails and stuff like that. So this is really me. And a couple of things. One, it's great to see people's faces. I know that some people are on laptops without cameras, or they're dialing in with their phones and obviously can't see that. But if you can put your cameras on, it's fantastic to actually see one another. It's one of the biggest things in working in these COVID kind of times. But it's a little bit like, would you go to a meeting, for instance, and turn your back and face the wall? You wouldn't do it in a meeting. And so that's why I really encourage the people to increase that level of, like real connectedness between us as, as people. Lero, just to confirm, are you letting people in, are you, on my behalf? Yeah, cool. So I won't do that anymore. I'll just leave you to it. So we're really going to get straight into the subject about what do the most productive leaders do differently. And to be honest, some of the global work that I do, the global organizations have really noticed that their people are busier than they've ever before, but they're not actually being as productive, to be honest. And so there's been lots of research done, and some of the things in here actually pick up on some of that research. And if you're feeling like, my God, are things just getting busier? The answer is yes, because the rate of speed of change is going faster, and the reality is that's not going to change. And the only thing that is in our control that we can change is about being more productive. And the first statistic, and I forget kind of if it's in the slide deck that I've got, that 80% of your value comes from 20% of the time that you spend. So that's pretty telling with regards to the opportunity that we've got with regards to doing things slightly differently to focus on the things that really matter, and not just at work, at every area of our life. So I'm going to go through a whole bunch of stuff, and then probably the last 5 to 10 minutes at the end, I'll just go through. I've got a couple of offers that we're doing at the moment. If you're interested, we'll give you some links. You can book in for a free session with me, and I can explain a little bit more about the coaching that we do at the end, which will be the last 5 to 10 minutes if you're interested in that. So the first thing I want you to do is jump in the chat. And why is this subject important or of interest to you? So jump in the chat. Why is this subject important to you? Just write the first thing that comes to your mind. Let's see a load of stuff in the chat. If anyone wants to come off of mute, feel free to do so and do it verbally. Raul, how can I be a productive leader? So it's more about the leadership kind of style of thing. To learn how to be more productive in these times of busyness. Yep, because there is only so much time in the day. Correct. There's a really great YouTube clip. If you just Google it, Lero might be able to put it in the chat for you. It's if you just Google life, how many beans do I have? It comes up, and it represents all of the days that you have in your life in beans and how much you use your time. And it's really interesting to kind of seeing. So we've got more stuff in the chat there. How to deliver sharp messages and create a good narrative. Manny, the inspirational and influential leaders program will be good for you, which we're going to be doing that one later on, maybe next month, the month after. Better understanding the importance of change and being a change ambassador to bring more value to my organization and help me work on what matters most, because working for a great leader is so much nicer than a poor one. Yeah, totally. Increase efficiency and effectiveness, prioritize. No one's actually put spend more quality time with my family. Now, I don't know, put your hand up if you've got a partner or children, put your hand up. I reckon they would have wanted you to have typed that, to be honest. But it's easy for us to get involved, because ultimately, if we're more efficient and effective there, we get to spend the time with our loved ones and also the people who are important with us. I'm spending too much time with them in lockdown. Thanks, Wendy. That is like, I want to get away. So anyway, yeah, cool. That's good to see. So quick question. What do you think are the key factors in What makes a leader highly productive in the first place? What do you actually think? Let's just brainstorm some of these things. What are the attributes? What are the things that you think are the key factors that make a leader highly productive? Ability to delegate effectively. Yes. Quick decision-making skills, effective delegation, teams, planning, vision, clarity. Yep. Nice. Keep me going. Knowing how to prioritize. Yeah. Thanks, Ang. Thanks, Manny. Thanks, Daniel. Wendy. Ability to get people on board with the vision. Yep. Thanks, Costa. Any others? Time management, delegation, motivate, carry, and purpose. Yeah, look, some of these things we're going to be going through, and to be honest, everything that I train, coach, teach, consult in, everything, it's all common sense. It's just not common practice, and that's the difference. And the key thing that I'll provoke for you today is have a piece of paper and a pen, because there's nothing like getting out your head and onto paper. What is something that you're going to do differently from tomorrow moving forwards that can make a difference? If you take just one upgrade or one tip away from today and do it differently for the next week, and then pick another one for the next week, by the end of the year, there'll be 52 upgrades to you and your life. What often happens is we try to do 10 things and then we don't do any of them, and then we kind of give up and all that kind of stuff. So what's one thing that you're going to take away from today doing it? And it can be really, really minute. But yeah, I want you to kind of focus on that today, because this is the reality for us. We're all under pressure. We're rushing from one task to the other. And I love this one. We're desperately multitasking and doing two things at once. And multitasking is so inefficient and ineffective. It's ridiculous. I can do a simple experiment and demonstrate how the brain works, that multitasking does not work. So if you're doing that, you need to stop that straight away. But you're doing all those things, you're rushing around and you seem to be busy, but you're still not getting everything done. Your to-do list is kind of longer than what it was at the end. Now, there's one common factor in every problem or every issue that you've ever had in your life. And in business and everything else like that, problem solving, if there was a common factor, we would start with that one common factor, wouldn't we? So in this subject of prioritization and time management and everything else like that, and just thinking about every problem that you've ever had in your life, what is the one common factor, do you think? Just jump in the chat. We all have been told and trained to do multitasking. Has this changed? Yes, it has. It's really inefficient. What's the other one? What's the one factor to every problem in your life that you've ever had? The one common factor. Time. Yeah, maybe. Time. Yeah. Let's take a bit more ownership. Communication. Me, Daniel. Yeah, everyone, it's Daniel's fault. He's the reason you've had problems in your life. So just blame Daniel. It's you. You are the only, maybe you just got too much to do, but is the problem you? And the thing is that there is one common factor in all of our problems, and it is us as individuals. Is it for me? But also, I'm the common factor in every success that I've ever had in my life as well. And so we just need to kind of acknowledge that for ourselves, because the outside world is going to get busier and it's going to be this, that, and the other. The only thing we have total control of is how I show up within it. And so that's why the coaching and the work that we do, and what I'm emphasizing to you guys today, is focus on you and what you can do differently within that. So optimizing productivity, what are some top tips for you to get us going? The first thing is this: replace reactive activity with proactive activity, right? That sounds simple, but what do I mean by reactive activity? Jump in the chat. What do I mean by reactive activity? And let's brainstorm what some of them might be. Issue management, yeah, just like distractions kind of coming in. Yep, what else? What's reactive activity? Firefighting, yep, perfect, Craig. What other things are reactive? Defending, yep. Think about it with regards to time, unplanned events, yep. What about things that are actually in your control that you're doing that actually aren't productive or proactive? Where do you actually spend your time? And we do this as an exercise for people to do a time journal, literally every minute by minute. How do they spend their time? And they're horrified afterwards. Reacting to others physically over social. Yeah, procrastination is the number one. Yeah. So that's going, your thoughts procrastinating. How much time, energy, and effort do you, I call it loop thinking, negative thinking, going around and around on things where you could have taken an action and done something about it? That's the number one. What we need to do with negative thinking, going around and around, is grab the thinking and finish the thought. And then say to myself, am I going to do anything or not? And if you're not, park it. If you're going to do something, do it, move on. Procrastination is one of the key ones, and I think we do some free training on negative thinking as well. Some of the other reactive activity, the reactive activators are things like this thing here, phones. The phone gives us a notification and we just react to it. We forget that we can actually turn off those notifications. They run our lives. Our email, the notification that comes through that you've got so many emails, we're dealing with this stuff and we're just reacting. We're reacting to social media. And then this is the worst one. Put your hand up if you've done this loop of checking in on things. So you pick up your phone because a notification goes, you check that thing while you're there. You're like, oh, I'll check my text messages. Oh, while I'm there, I'll just check what happened on Facebook. Oh, that's interesting. I'll just check how much money I've got on my bank account. And then before you know it, you spent 30 minutes on this bloody thing where you didn't actually even intend it. Just type yes if you have ever done that. Yep. One thing to do with loop checking is just look at your settings and look at how much you are using your phone and the apps that you are using. I'll tell you now, if you do it now, you'll be horrified. You spend like 12 hours, people are spending 12 hours on their phone and they're like, oh, well, I'm doing it for work. Cool. So why does Facebook being used for 6 hours then? Is that actually what you want to do? So the most productive leaders, what they do is they're proactive with their time. They don't let reactive time start to do it. You know, TV, Netflix, KO, binge TV now, like all these kind of things where we're just watching one thing and another. They're reactive things. You know, like the distractions that you said, meetings, phone demands, conversations, and all this kind of stuff. The first thing that you got to do is declare war on reactive time. Genuinely look at where you're spending your time and then go, I'm going to replace reactive time with proactive time. Instead of doing that, I'm going to do this because it's in more alignment with what I want to be doing. Yeah. So some other kind of tips. The first thing with optimizing productivity, high performance and everything else like that, clarity is king. So that's where I suggest looking at where you're actually spending your time and your energy to then look at replacing, because it's not about adding stuff in. It's about your not do list is more important than your to-do list. And energy, optimizing productivity, energy is actually internally generated. So if you're not looking after yourself, your well-being, the things that actually fill up your pot with energy, you know, like for me, going out and playing soccer, yes, I'm physically knackered, but I'm energized afterwards. Do you know what I mean? I go out for walks in the country, spend time in nature. That energizes me. Therefore, I'm purposeful with my downtime as well. So if I'm going to watch TV, which I do with my wife, I kind of come home and go, oh my God, my head is full. I just need to switch off. And I watch 2 hours of rugby, or let's watch something 2 hours on thingy, but it's purpose driven. We don't just mindlessly watch it and turn it on and then think half an hour later, what do we really want to watch? While we're purposeful with our downtime as well, for honoring our own energy so that we've got this. I've got a little ring that tells me what my readiness score is on a daily basis. And I see statistically the difference between if I'm looking after myself, how I can show up versus when I'm not. Absolutely key for you. Necessity. It comes from clarity, identifying the things that are a must. And I'm doing a purposeful parenting program with my coaching clients tomorrow, because it's actually about getting the clarity about what are the must things of being parents. Like, what time do I really, what experiences do I want to give my kids? Therefore, how do I need to change my time to actually deliver on that? You know, necessity in business, in work, in everything. What are the things for you that are the non-negotiables? Get the clarity on them, because sometimes, like 2 years ago for me, I got a reminder that I wasn't the father that I wanted to be, and I wasn't spending the time on the important things. I was doing all the stuff that you normally get caught up, but when I got the clarity reality check, I was like, no, I need to make changes here. Influence, as people said, be impactful in everything that you do, because it's about bringing people along effectively on the journey. And if you haven't focused on your influence skill sets, do that, because if you can increase your influence skill sets, then your communication and the way in which you engage with people and bring them along is quicker, rather than, you know, dragging them along and taking a lot of time, energy, and effort. Focus on your influence skills. And our next webinar is going to be on what do the most influential leaders do differently. So we'll do one on influence for you. Prioritize, stop and wait. So what I mean by stop, and this is when people are in overwhelm, it's simply this. S means stop. T means take a breath. O means observe. What the hell is going on in my life right now or today? And then the P means proceed mindfully. I do this stop technique. It's actually a psychological kind of tool for people who are really stressed. And the thing is to do that throughout your day. Because if you just stop, take a breath, observe what are your priorities, you will get clarity. You will realize the things that are really important to you to do. And then you will proceed mindfully. And I tell you right now, if you just use that stop technique, that you will increase your productivity by doing that. And also, you know, eliminating reactive time. 80% of our effort comes from 20% of our time. So you've got massive opportunity in there in being more productive. And then wait is, I love this one. Why am I taking action? So when you're just busy doing stuff, just to go, wait a minute, wait, why am I doing this? Actually just checking in with yourself, that will really help you. If you can implement stop and wait as little micro stop moments throughout the day, it will really help you. You don't need to meditate for 4 hours a day to do it. Just, it will literally takes a minute to do the stop and really think about it and proceed mindfully. And key is about managing your energy levels and leveraging your own personal strengths as well. Any questions on any of that before we get into some other kind of tools and tactics in a bit more detail? I just wanted to kind of cover them from a high level kind of general kind of perspective.
Could you let me know what the S was?
The what?
The S.
The S is stop.
Okay.
Yeah, stop, take a breath, observe, proceed mindfully. Thanks. And then wait, why am I taking action? I love them too. Yeah. So let's get on to some tools around effective prioritization and planning, because you might be like, yeah, I'm doing all that. Like, if you say that you're doing all that, I would say bullshit. You're not. Like, dead set. Like, the most productive people in the world are still focusing on that stuff every single day. And they would say that I'm not there yet. And people sometimes declare that I'm the most productive person that they've ever met. But I'm still kind of focusing on them and reorientating myself every single day. So effective prioritization and planning, what's the best way? Some people say, I need apps, I need this, I need that, I need the other. Let's go back to basics. There is a very simple process for this. And I call it, it's actually out of a book by David Allen is his name. If you want to look him up, he's written a book, he's pretty good. But out of the book, this is the most important aspect, that basically we have us and we have all this stuff coming in. And then, the T in wait is taking action. Why am I taking action? Or why am I talking if you're in a meeting and you're managing your extrovertness? So we got all this stuff kind of coming in, and then it goes straight into our inbox. This is where we need to sort our lives out. Just because it's coming in doesn't mean that we need to do it. And there's 4 simple things that you need to do, and this is it, which is do. What is it out of all that stuff that I need to do? You can do it now. You can do it quickly. It's in alignment. It's a priority. It's a necessity. Out of all that stuff, what am I going to do? Number one. Number two, what am I going to delete or dump? I actually say for this, what am I going to do? What am I going to dump? What is my not do list? And dump, I do this on a daily basis. Even today, I got an email from some list that I've been connected. I don't know where they've got my email and their emails, and I, archive it or delete it. But I'm going to get constant emails and I'm going to delete. What I need to do, which I did, is didn't just delete it, click the unsubscribe button. So now I'm not going to spend that time deleting. That's why my inbox doesn't get clear. I only have the stuff coming through that I really want. So what are you going to dump? What actions or things are you not going to do is the second one. The third one is delegate, which is if I'm not adding additional value, then I shouldn't be doing that. I should be delegating, not getting someone else to do it. Yeah. Where am I wasting my time to kind of doing stuff? Like a really simple one for us as a family is we got a cleaner in 2 hours a week. My God, that is a godsend. I don't add any additional value in cleaning at the home. To get someone in a couple of hours a week, it's not a massive cost for us. And it is super, super value because then I can spend 2 extra hours or an hour with my children, an hour with my business, and think about things in that way. What can you delegate? And then defer. It's just like, okay, it's important. It's really important to me, but it's not do now. What defer? So schedule is another one for this. So it's do, delegate, do, delete, delegate, and defer. And you can put your different words, but I just find having them as 4 Ds. I actually changed the delete to dump. I've just kind of picked up, but I think Neil Allen calls it delete. That then leads into the kind of the prioritization matrix, which is exactly the same thing, which is actually, important and urgent, and everything becomes important and urgent. Oh, I'm overwhelmed with all the important urgent thing. But that's why I change it to, it's about matter of the value that I actually add versus how urgent is it? Do I actually need to be doing this, or can I outsource this, for instance? Because if I do add the value, but it's not urgent, that's when I schedule, program, prioritize, or the Ds, I defer it. If it is urgent and I do add the value and it's critical for me to do, Nike, just do it. Eat the frog, don't procrastinate, get on with it. Where it's low urgent, don't add any value, that's your dump. You shouldn't be doing it. And then if it is urgent, you don't necessarily add the value, that's where you need somebody else to do it. And so that's the delegate. And that's where the do, delete, delegate kind of fits in a prioritization kind of matrix. But I kind of feel just the 4 Ds. What am I going to do? Use that as a filter. If you set yourself up every single morning with a ritual of just thinking about the 4 Ds for yourself, spend 15 minutes doing that every day as a ritual, lock it in your calendar, ensure it's going to happen. I've got it in my calendar, a repeating kind of thing. You will have more productive days. So quick question. People often say, yeah, but everything's urgent, everything's important. And I'm firefighting the whole time. Why do we love it, do you think? Jump in the chat. Why do we love that? Because we do. Hero, perfect, Wendy. It's exciting because we all know that we want to be super person and save the day. The reality is when we say that, we're actually poorly prioritizing. It is, yeah, we want the pat on the back and it makes us feel important and everything else like that. Feeling important is an internally felt thing, and we need to kind of go, well, wait a minute. My value is my value, whether or not I get pats on the back or whatever. And that's when we need to look internally about our own feelings of worthiness and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So that's where just realize, and sometimes, like for me, my sense of purpose comes through my sense of service. And I've had to manage that. There's definitely been times where I've wanted, God's sake, my name's Robin. I think I'm a superhero like Batman, just, in a very more awkward kind of outfit. But, or Robin Hood. But the fact is that I've had periods of my life where I've just ended up on the floor, not being able to help anyone. And when my kids, 2 children under 2 with disabilities, a wife with an autoimmune disorder couldn't kind of get out of bed, you know what I mean? If I went down then and was trying to be superhero too much as well, I wasn't going to be any help to anyone. And so I get it, but we need to kind of realize that when am I actually contributing, and when is my needs for wanting to feel like Superman overriding optimizing my productivity and actually spending the time on the things that are actually important to me. And the key thing is keeping an eye on this thing, which is, are you struggling to achieve your goals if you focus on what's urgent? Like a client said to me the other day, Robin, I'm optimizing my productivity and I want to delegate, but it's not that I'm, because it doesn't have a team, but he's like, I haven't even got people to kind of reach out to and help me, where other people have got like a network of support around them. They can just call upon people to help them out or ask questions to and that type of stuff. And I said, yeah, the thing is that what they did is they realized that it was important that in the future, using the compass analogy, that in the future, they would need to have the right people around them, and they invested in that. They invested in having the right people around them before there was something urgent. And this client said to me, yeah, but I need these people urgently now. I haven't got time to invest in long-term relationships. And I said to him, you haven't got time not to, because you're just creating another future of constantly not having the right people around you. And this balance between, am I on the clock with regards to the stuff that has happened now? Have I actually scheduled in the really important things with regards to the compass of, in business, if you're a business owner, are we going to be where I want me to be? Is the team going to be where I want to be? Is my professional development going to be where I need it to be? Because there's stuff that's really, really important to get you to where you want to be that's not time critical. And it's often those things that get missed. And so one tip for you, and this might be one thing you want to take away, what is something that you've always said is important to you that you haven't got to, that right now you can just go, cool, I'm going to do that. And when I've prompted that with people, I've got text messages after going, Robin, we finally booked our trip to Magnetic Island or Hamilton Island or whatever it is, like, because a holiday was important to me. I've had people do scuba diving or, just like random things that they've been putting off. Like, it's important to them, like, do it. You know what I mean? So lock it in your calendar. Necessity, make it a necessity that you focus on compass activities as well as the time and the balance of the two. We've got to make sure that we have long-term important priorities, like I've just said. And the thing is that what is it? An arrow without a target will always miss. We've got to have a long-term intent of where we're going. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but we've got to have a long-term kind of intent about what's important for us. Now we're going to shift gears a little bit and get onto this, because this for me is one of the other biggest things kind of holding us back. And it's about eliminated wasted time. And this is about the reactive time. So one of the easiest ways to improve your time is, what are the time bandits and what are the energy vampires in your life? So just stopping and brainstorming, and maybe just brainstorm in the chat, what for you are some of the time bandits? Like this old, I always picture this old dude. Whenever I see something wasting my time, I just picture this old dude going, oh man, I need to stop this. So what time bandits do you have, which are things that are using up your time that, you don't want to? And the other one I put is energy vampires. People who you might have an hour conversation with and you just feel exhausted afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, that doesn't feel good. And what we need to do is we need to eliminate them. And let's keep them brainstorming on the thing, because people will realize, oh yeah, that one is for me as well. And so time bandits are ways in which you leak time. They're trivial activities, pointless, unpredictable, things that add no value. They reduce your results and they're wasted time, and it's lost kind of forever. Kind of time bandits that we have are unwanted interruptions, being disorganized, overthinking is one, unproductive meetings. Unproductive meetings, I'm going to give you a tool for never having an unproductive meeting again, so stay for that one. Other people being late, just set expectations with them. If you're late again, I'm not going to be coming. Smartphones, overthinking, inefficient. Look, I'm just going to kind of go through all of these. All of these things can be things that are just wasting your time, and you've got to declare war on them. And also, anything where you're being, where your energy is kind of lowering, you're just get rid of that stuff. Yeah. This is the statistic of the latest research. They did the latest research of an average person on a daily basis gets interrupted by time bandits or interruptions or distractions 11 times a day, and the average distraction time frame was 23 minutes. That's average. Now think about how much. So if you think you're busy, on average you're being distracted 11 times a day, 23 minutes. That's like, oh, I don't know what your days are like. That's like half your day is just wasted. It's rubbish. So we've absolutely, I just want to emphasize the point here where if you think, oh, I can't strip anything out, that's what's kind of occurring. Limit those distractions. Like even unsubscribing from emails or stuff like that, not getting involved in things. Your not do list is the most important thing kind of for you. Switch off your browser when you're doing kind of activities, using do not disturb away feature. One of the biggest ones for me was about getting my phone to be helpful for me. It only notifies me when I want to be notified about the things that are important. Change your notification settings, turn this bloody thing off as well, and you take a leadership. The tail is wagging the dog a lot with this stuff. Delay requests for your time. Just one key one is just checking with people. Like, do you really need it now? They will say yes, and then your next question is why. And they go, oh, well, I only need it for something next week. Oh, so if I do it next week, it'll be okay. Cool, leave it with me. Getting that kind of clarification kind of really help with distractions. Like it's a big one for my kids when they want me. I'm like, do you really need me now, or can I do this for an hour? Just get that kind of validation. These are some other tips. Batching your time. I'm not going to go into it too much, but batching your time is another really important thing. So for each of us, like we've got a different thing. Like in the mornings, for instance, I'm really good. I'm kind of game on. After 7 o'clock, I'm not much good to anyone, so I don't do any thinking power then. I do my productive kind of thinking in the morning. I have my kind of clients and engagement and phone calls. I do my phone calls. I batch them. So I go for a walk around the field here and I do all my phone calls where I don't need to write anything down because I'm moving my energy. I'm energizing myself while doing those calls. Then I come back, then I sit down and then I do my webinar stuff. Batch your time when you're most productive. Some people are night owls, some people are morning, some people are just like sloths. Like I'm just never like, so but even sloths are active for a couple of hours. One client said to me in this training that we did, she said, I have the view that I've only got 4 hours of the day and I prioritize based on only having 4 hours. Then I really do the do, dump, delegate, and that based on 4 hours of productivity. So then I can actually really do it. So that was a really interesting thing that she did. The key thing is around being purposeful in everything you do. That is the number one. Now I'm going to give you a technique for meetings, which is the 5 Ps. Just jump in and say yes if you know the 5 Ps. The 5 Ps come up in lots of kind of things. I'll refer to it with regards to meetings, but also if you're doing anything. This is the vet that you do. The first P is, what is the purpose? Have you ever been to a meeting and then walked out and gone, what was the point in that? I can see a few nods, right? Any meeting that you go to, you deserve to know. If Julian invites me to a meeting, I say, hey, Julian, what's the purpose of the meeting on Friday? Julian goes, well, it's kind of a bit about this. It's kind of a bit about this. It's kind of a bit about this. I'd actually say, Julian, kind of sounds like you're not really sure yet. So look, once you're really clear of what you want to get out of the meeting, let me know and then I'll attend. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to go to Julian's meeting to help him work out what he wants to say. What is the purpose of the meeting? Or if you're doing something, what is the purpose or the reason? Understand the why. Product, what is the outcome? So Julian, oh, that's the purpose of the meeting on Friday. Cool. What's the outcome that you want to get? What's the product? What do you want to achieve by the end of the meeting? Let's get clear on that. Next, people. Julian, if you want to get approval with X, who do we need in the room who are actually the decisions maker that can make that decision? Oh, well, we need that person. Are they coming? No, they said they couldn't make it. What's the point enough of having a meeting then to get approval to something where the approver is in the room? No point. Julian's feeling a bit hard done by here. Sorry for picking on you, Julian. Process. What's the agenda, Julian, so that we have a productive meeting to get the outcome that we want? And then the final P, has everyone been aware of what the purpose of the meeting is, the outcome that we want to achieve? Do they know who's attending? Do they know what the agenda is so that they can prepare? And preparation, have you informed them of the key things you're going to be asking them so they can consider it before they come to the meeting? So if you set an agenda, any meeting that you're the host for, do a 5 Ps, put it in the notes. Purpose of the meeting is this, product, the outcome we want to achieve is this, people attending are this, the agenda are these 4 bullet points, preparation, everyone needs to make sure that they read attached document, done. You will never have a non-productive meeting from there on in, and you can use this as a questioning thing for other people. And also, if someone just lobs at you a random action that you go, wait a minute, what's the point in that? Use the 5 Ps to challenge them. What's the purpose? What's the outcome? Who do I need to engage? What's the kind of the desired kind of process and time frame? What preparation needs to happen before? This is super, super universal, fantastic. Been using it my whole life. Actually kind of came out of the military. They actually have 7 Ps. This is the 5 Ps, but it's a business one as well. Just a couple of more other bits of gold with regards to techniques that you can do. Who loves playing golf? Just give me a thumbs up if you love playing. Shane's into golf. Perfect. Yeah, Brad's into golf. So play golf, everyone. Golf is this. Yeah, Daniel's into golf. Start by scheduling to play golf, which you can. Be purposeful when you play golf, don't dilly-dally about it. But when you're going to dedicate yourself to a task, dedicate yourself to a task. Set one goal. Right, I need to develop a webinar is the goal. Set for yourself the optimal environment where for doing that activity is the best place for you. For instance, if you've got to do a lot of kind of really cognitive thinking and an analysis, doing it in an open plan office probably isn't the optimum environment for you. Or doing it while you're homeschooling, for instance, probably isn't the optimal environment for you. Yeah. Next one, limit distractions. I'm going to do this report. I'm going to turn off my, I'm going to actually just disconnect from the internet while I write this report, for instance, or do this activity. I'm going to tell people that I'm not to be disturbed. I'm going to limit the distractions the best that I can. I'm going to put a little sign on my door. And then finally, set yourself a fixed time frame. You can achieve so much if you are dedicated to one thing. And I would suggest, and there's the theory, it's called the Pomodorium technique. I can never say it right. It's the tomato, because it was a tomato timer that the guy used, as Italian guy. 50 minutes is the best. Then have a 10-minute break for doing something for yourself to come back to do another 50 minutes. Come back, then have a longer break. Then do that. If you did that, you would be super, super productive. God's honest truth, I don't do that, but what I do is where something needs to be done, I go, right, these are the tasks that needs to be done. What's the best environment for me to do it? How can I limit distractions, and what time frame am I going to put around it? Yeah, I'm going to walk away around the field because I'm away from here. I'm going to do my phone calls, and I'm going to do them within half an hour, and then I'll be back. So play golf, use that as an acronym for you. Few final tips, and hopefully you're writing down out of all of these which one. All of these I do personally, to a lesser or greater extent. All of them I do, but if you don't do one of them, just pick one that you want to declare war on. It will make a massive difference. Key thing about optimizing productivity, we then go, if you optimize your productivity, you go into levels of high performance. And so what we need to do is we need to turn virtues into winning habits. So virtuals are things that we want to do and we want to be more like, but we never get around. So how do you do that is that you need to take action. You need to create a habit for yourself. How do you do that? You first of all need to define what success is for you first. So you need to get clear on that. What does it look like, smell like, taste like? Then you need to establish new rituals that serve you on a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis, thinking about managing your energy levels, locking in like I do. Every 10 weeks, I take a week off to recharge and go in nature and take my kids, and we go off and do survival stuff and all that kind of stuff. Lock in the things for you daily, weekly, monthly, annually. By doing that, you will be looking after the things that are important to you for the clock, but also the important things for the compass that you know that you want to lock in on an annual basis as well. Remove the old habits. It's about swapping. I'm not going to eat the burger because I'm going to eat 4 apples. You know, it's that type of thing. Because once, don't even focus on the burger. Once you eat 4 apples, you won't want a burger because you'll be full. But remove the old habits that you've kind of got into. But also with these winning habits, it's a matter about reviewing. I review them kind of like on a weekly and a monthly basis. And I've got a calendar invite for me to review it on a monthly basis, just to check in with myself. How are you doing? Because bad habits creep in. You know, I was watching a bit too much KO sports. And so then I realized, okay, I need to back off and purposely only watch things that I want. So I'm waiting for the British Lions tour of South Africa. That's what I'm really hanging out for. Level up your peer group as well. You know, energy vampires are people that we're around that are draining our energy. And if they're draining their energy, it's not that they're bad people, they're just not for us anymore. So level up your peer group and be around people who genuinely kind of energize you. Focus on your strengths, where a lot of focus is on around, well, you need to mitigate your weaknesses and all that. Yeah, you can, but you can just focus on your strengths because they're your strengths and you actually, actually love it. Thanks, Leroy. Get support where you need it, like a cleaner, something that's a task that is draining your energy, that's actually going to be good for you, your business, your family, whatever the case may be. Get support where you need it. Yeah. So in summary, key points from me are replace reactive with proactive time and do things with purpose using the techniques that we've said. Plan your time effectively with the 4 Ds. Do, delegate, dump, and delete. I don't know if I've got that around the right way, but you know what I mean. And if you want to know what they are again, just let us know in the chat. Focus on those long-term important things, because management is about solving the next problem. Leadership is creating the future where the problems of today don't exist. And it's the balance between them two that we need to do. And we've got to remove time wasters and energy vampires from our life. And we've got to be purposeful, using the 5 Ps and golf technique, for instance. And also the one that's not here is the stop technique, is incredibly useful as well. Turn virtues into winning habits. One winning habit for you would be to set up a morning ritual where you review every day, what is your plan of attack? If you just do that, it'll be really important. So I'd love to hear from you. Out of all of that, that's the fire hydrant for me. It's like the Matrix. Give me an upload on optimized productivity. Would love to hear, what was your key insight, or what's the one thing that you're going to do differently kind of moving forwards? Jump in the chat. Declare war on active time. Stop. 5 Ps. 5 Ps. Yeah, perfect. Keep us going. Everyone jump in the chat. 5 Ps. People, I love the 5 Ps. My clients love the 5 Ps. It's changed people's lives. Stop and wait, and also like the 5 Ps. Cool. Ps. Yeah. And it's a matter of the 5 Ps prevents, prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. Those kind of Ps. The Eisenhower matrix, but focusing on what value I bring. Yeah. Change notifications on my phone. That's one action to do, is look at your, what's it called? The time usage thing, and look at where you're using your apps and declare war on that. Yeah, cool. We got time for a couple of questions from people. Anyone got any questions on any of that? And then I'm gonna spend like probably 8 minutes on just going through some offers and some free bits and pieces for you if you want to do a free one-on-one strategy with me, for instance. But any questions for anyone that they've got a burning question on anything? Just come off of mute. No. Cool. All right, let's save your time then. If you do need anything, just reach out. So the thing is around, are you interested in getting support? And this is the kind of the work that I do, obviously, helping people achieve what they want. So the work that I actually do, this is the model that we work people with, is going from confused to clear, unlocking. So if you're feeling stuck, if you know that you want to achieve something, if you haven't got the balance, we unlock that. We enable you to help you develop the right strategy. We give you the skills, tools, and tactics you need to kind of ignite performance from there. So we work with leaders to help them basically get more meaning, joy, and purpose in life and work, but also increase their level of influence and impact. And you might have seen the webinar we did last month around what the most inspirational leaders do differently as well. And it's all about achieving your goals. So if that's of any interest to you, then keep being a part of our network and stuff like that. But an offer for you today is Lero's just going to put a link in there. Oh, he put the whole lot in there. That's all right. So the first link there, if you want to click on that link now, I genuinely have opened up, because Lero blocks out my time when I have free time, and I've taken it out for the next couple of weeks. There's not loads of space there. But if you click on that first, link, you can book a free 45-minute session with me, and that's genuinely a strategy session about you and me going through where are you at, where do you want to be, what blockers have you got, and I'll give you personalized individual advice and guidance on whatever your situation is. So jump on now while I go through the rest. If you want, click on that link and book a session with me. Lero's also put a load of other links there for you as well, which I was going to come to in a bit, but just because they're there, if you just want a copy of my book, The Executive Edge, about how do you do balance and have work with more meaning, work, and purpose, then grab a copy of that. It's actually 2 years ago that I wrote the introduction of that when I was with my dad while he gave me his last bits of advice, which are actually in the introduction. So it's got a bit of a soft spot for me. We've got in the chat, you see there, a 5-day video Kickstarter series as well. You can click on that. That's another free resource. And then we've got the other things such as the LinkedIn group, the YouTube channel, or you can just email me as well. So all that's in the chat for you. So take advantage of that. Just to let you know as well, there is a June offer that we're doing at the moment with regards to the coaching programs. We have a number of programs, but this is one that we're running at a 50% off if you join in June. So if you want to do a strategy session and we can talk about it there, or if you're interested, just email me because my email's there. What you get is 2 personality diagnostics, a coaching questionnaire for you individually about what's going on for you. What's your personality preferences? How are you showing up in the world right now with regards to making decisions, collaborating, and in tricky situations? And it's between those 2 that I can then help you identify what are the hidden obstacles for you holding you back. And we do that in that initial one-on-one 1-hour kickoff session. And then we've got a beautiful group of people. There's about 25 in the group. We do 2 group coaching sessions per week at 12:30 on a Monday and a Wednesday. And we do a new and different training on one of the 9 areas of our program on a Friday at 12 o'clock. And what you also get is monthly one-on-one check-in sessions, so half an hour monthly coaching sessions, just to make sure you get access to our online resource center, which I might just bring up and actually show you, to be honest. You get that access to all the training. So it's more than, what I do is more than coaching, because it's coaching, training, and advising. And what you also get is access to the group kind of stuff. I do other programs that are more expensive, that involve more one-on-one time with myself. And if they're of interest, then there's plenty of other ways that we can work together again. But I very much work holistically to help you achieve the outcomes that you want. So hopefully people can see my screen. This is our resource center. So this just gives you an idea if you're feeling stuck. These are the 3 areas. If you want lacking influence and impact, these are the 3 areas we focus on. Creating temporary change, these are the 3 areas. So today we've been focused on optimizing productivity. And these are all different trainings on removing hidden obstacles, such as overcoming fear or confident self-mastery, negative thinking that I said about, some strategic thinking, EQ mastery. So a whole range of tactical trainings like you've seen, like the one today is just like one of them, for instance. So that's the resource center that you get access to on our programs. Let's just come back to this. So if that's of interest, that's what we do. And as Lero has put in the chat already, these are the other ways that you can contact us with regards to the book, the free video series, the LinkedIn and the YouTube channel. So that's pretty much it from me. Oh, what's that? Oh, something's happened to my... Oh, my YouTube.
Your own little
YouTube,
intro, Rob.
yeah, I accidentally clicked the link myself. So we've got another subscriber. It's obviously me. So yeah, that's it for me. I'd highly recommend taking advantage of those free resources that are in the chat. If you're not sure which one you want to do, just copy and paste them onto a file for yourself. You can always just stay with us on our email list and those types of things, and we'll email people out. And if you've got any query or question, just reach out and let me know. So we're 3 minutes under. Any final questions from anyone or comments? All good? There we go. Perfect. You've now got 3 minutes left of your life to declare. Oh, quickly in the chat, what's the one action you're going to take? In the chat, what's the one action? I said one action you should take. What's the one action you're going to take? Jump in. Stop and wait. Yep. Probably the things that were most important are 5 Ps. Yeah. Yeah. Notifications on the phone. Brilliant. Awesome. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much. Stay connected. Let us know if you need anything. Getting stuck is inevitable, but staying stuck is a choice. And we'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Robin.
Thank you.
Cheers.